The idea for the Internationalist kit came about in the midst of the pandemic as the Summer Olympics were on the horizon. We knew they were coming back. All of the world majors were happening in the same fall, and I wanted something that captured the spirit and energy of international competition with so much of it going on. It felt like a real party. Something special was going on in the world of athletics where everything went on pause, and now we needed a coming out party. And I wanted something, a garment that expressed that. You know, for Heartbreak, we're always very logo driven, or we have been, and I wanted something that felt surprising and different. And at the time, I was reading a book about the surf industry, and I had always been inspired by the Echo Beach era of Quiksilver and the 80s surf culture. And it turns out the patterns that I thought were iconic in surf that I was introduced to through surf were actually somewhat inspired by horse racing. So when I heard that, it sort of empowered me to say, okay, then I can borrow some of that iconography and make it our own and give it a twist. At the same time, I had the idea of Piet Mondrian's dress with Yves Saint Laurent. Actually, Yves Saint Laurent took the pattern and made it a dress, and it was something that was highly wearable. It was widely regarded at the time as almost an instant classic, something that could go immediately from the runway to a cocktail party. And I always found the art and its crossover into fashion so inspiring. So I had all these ideas, Olympic colors, surf attitude from the 80s, and high art fashion, and fused them into this kit that has those 5 colors of the Olympics. And I thought, you can really identify it from a distance. My goal was to create something that you could see and say, that's cool, from really far, and that would sort of call to mind all of these things: fashion, attitude, international competition, and make it a real garment. So I started with some really rudimentary sketches just to make sure it worked as a concept. After I made my rudimentary sketches, I sent those off to Luke, our prime designer.
So Dan sent over his quick sketch. I took that, did a more fashion illustration just so I could start to play with shapes and colors and see how that really draped on the human body. And even sketching out the first idea on the men's singlet evolved a little bit further into the women's singlet, changing positioning, laying out colors in places that they looked more aesthetically pleasing. From there, once I was happy with that, opened up our pattern in Illustrator and start to lay everything out where I wanted it in a vector format so that we could get the fabric sublimated, sent over to our factory to cut and sew everything into the kit that you see today.